It's 18 hours.
Hi, everybody. Please confirm you can hear me or you can even see me from where you are. Good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to today's event. Can anybody hear me? Let me assume people can hear me from where they are. Welcome, 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 everybody. Let me send my guests. I'm trying to bring in my guests. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. We hope you are home safe and sound. No traffic on your way home, no stress at all, because I know for a fact that it can be very stressful, going home on a Friday, especially with the way, the road is very, very bad. Honestly, I went out recently and I was asking myself, who sent me to be out of my house. Please, for my guests, my speakers, I've sent you an invite. Please do check your DMs to accept it. I'm quite excited for today's conversation, and I can't wait for us to dive into it, and also get resolutions before we leave this call. Please, my speakers, like I said, your invite is in your DMs. Do check your DMs to join this conversation. Kindly check your DMs. Welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll probably just play soft music for us while we wait for our speakers to join us today. Um I can see that people can hear me, which is good. Thank you very much for confirming. This is me just playing a very soft music for you. A bitch with the niche. I don't know if I'm the only Brimo fan in the house. Do we have Brimo fans in the house? Let me know if you're a Brimo fan. And no, I'm not saying fake Brimo fan, no. I'm talking about the real Brimo fans in the house. All right. Good evening. I can see my first speaker is on stage. I'm going to be accepting you in shortly. Just want to make sure that every of my speakers are around. Thank you for joining promptly. We're going to be waiting for the three other persons. That's Sheung Odegbami and Yemi and Adewale. So we'll just wait for them to join us. Quite excited for today's conversation. Let's just wait for them to join us. Thank you very much for joining early. Let's just wait. I can see Ojo Asuko on the stage already. Well, I'm just going to wait for every other person to join us. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I'm just going to play my music again so that you are not bored while you are here. Do I have Brimo fans in the house? Do I have Brimo fans? Do I have Brimo fans in this space? Thank you for joining early. I'm just waiting for other persons to be here so that I could bring in everybody. This call. Please, my same, same. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the comments so far. I can see you can hear me. Interesting. I can see you said you can hear me. Thank you for commenting. We're just going to wait again briefly. So sorry for the delay. We're just going to wait briefly for all, other speakers so that they could also join us on stage while we move in. I'm trying to confirm from them if they've seen my message. Thank you, everybody. I mean, I'm super excited for this conversation, to be very honest, because, well, like I said in one of my LinkedIn posts, this is something that when I when I heard the argument or dialogue between the founders and the media people, it just struck me like this conversation needs to be had. Like, how do we bridge the gap? How do we know how to help the founders? How do we know how to help the media publicators? Because truly, they need money. Yes, we have our second speaker, Adewale Fatoki. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be bringing you up very soon. I just need other speakers to also join us. That's Yemi and Sheung. They are going to be joining us shortly. Thank you very much for joining. Hello, good evening, Vera. Good evening, Ayomide. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, Ladi. Good evening, the Spotlight. Yes, this is the FinTech Africa and the Spotlight event, and honestly, it was sort of short notice plan, but because this conversation is important, and that's why we're having it today. But this is not going to be the last time we're going to be having it. So let's just wait few more minutes for other speakers to join us. Thank you very much for joining. I think I should just bring my speakers one by one to stage. Yes, I think. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much for joining. Even though you joined late, is it me? Am I the cause of you coming in late? Don't tell me it's me.
Mm, I didn't
Okay.
join late. I was
Okay.
having network issues trying to.
I
I didn't know it was
see.
an
I think
external link.
today, yeah, I think today network has been a very, very bad one. So I totally understand it. Welcome. We're just waiting for and Sheung and Yemi. Yes, we're just waiting for Sheung and Yemi. Hello, Amara Chuku. Welcome. Good evening. Thank you for joining us today. We're just waiting for two of our other speakers. Oh, great. I'm glad that you can hear me and you can see me. Thank you. We're just waiting for two of our other speakers and we're going to get right into it quickly. Hello, Abu Bakari. Abu Bakari, good evening. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you very, very. Yes, I mean, even personally, I've also been looking forward to the conversation. So I genuinely understand where you're coming from. And yes, I hope we're able to not just talk, but also find a middle ground, that's realistic, for both parties, enough for us to move forward. I'm trying to dial in Yemi. Yemi is struggling to get in. No, it's not on the call. Please, apologies. I can't see you. You used the link I shared with you to join this call, right? Oh, okay. I just wanted to be sure that this is it. Link. Oh, okay. Yemi was thinking he was going to join through something. He probably didn't see my message. Then we'll have Sheung. I thank you for joining and apologies for keeping you more than the time we're supposed to keep you because this conversation should have started already. So we're going to start immediately, Yemi comes in while we just wait for welcome David. Thank you very much for also being here. David is the founder of the Spotlight Hub, and is being a very, very, very great partner. And yes, we're all looking forward to this. Apologies. We're trying to get in our other guests. Oh my god. Are they in? Which one? Let me see. Okay, I think we even have one founder and one media person on board. So I'll probably just go right into introduction while we wait for other people to join us so that we don't. Okay, Yemi is here. Yay. Hello, Yemi. Good evening. Welcome. Okay, I think good evening. I think Adewale just left now, probably network. Okay, I knew it was network. Good evening. Please confirm you can hear me and you can see me well.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
Yeah.
evening. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining and apologies once again
Can you
for
guys hear
this.
me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Network.
Yeah.
Network issues in the country is a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to mute all of our speakers so I can get right into it while we wait for, or while we'll just, expect Sheung to join us as we move. Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to the Startup Media Virtual Conference hosted by the FinTech Africa in partnership with the Spotlight Hub. I'm quite excited about this conversation today because I believe it's very, very important, for African tech and startup ecosystem. And I'm sure you're wondering why exactly is our team impact and role of media on African tech startup. It started from, like I said, I attended an event. I saw, media and startup were having back and forth on, oh, when we start, can I always you guys would put, what's it called, international startups, you would put them out there, you would talk about them, they don't pay you, so how do you, talk about them without being paid? And media people are saying, yeah, we talk about you, but if you want the extensive talk, you still need to pay for it. That was where it struck me, like, okay, definitely there's a gap somewhere, because I genuinely don't think that is fair on both sides, because to be very honest, media people will have to pay their staff and all of that. So that's why we are here on how do we bridge the gap. So this session would start with a very real conversation, and trust me, we're not here to blame founders, we're not here to attack the media, but to genuinely understand both sides. And hopefully, I said in the beginning of this conversation, we're able to find like a practical solution onto what we're going to do. But before I go in, I'm going to quickly just do a brief introduction of the two platforms that brought us here today. That's the FinTech Africa and the Spotlight. Or briefly about the FinTech Africa. FinTech Africa is majorly like a media brand, and they've been dedicated to cover all things African fintech conversations. Currently managed by Bishal, and it's a Lagos-based marketing communication agency, and they've been run for a very long time. I think since 2020, 2019. They have writers, contributors across the continent, from South Africa to Ghana, through just covering news, startup features, weekly inside tech, whatever. And yeah, it's just they've just been that person or their media coverage person helping to just talk about the fintech news all over Africa. And then we also have the Spotlight Hub, who is also a media and founder ecosystem which is dedicated to helping builders become more visible, informed, and connected. And I'm sure if you hear this one line, you understand why they're actually here today. You know what you understand why they are participating in this conversation today, because they help us tell the story behind the startups and people building them, uncover practical lessons through newsletters, interviews, spotlight innovative products, and also connect these founders with opportunities that can help them grow. So we believe this is very, very powerful. This is a very powerful combination and partnership, because every founder has a story worth telling, a lesson worth sharing, and a vision worth seeing. So that's why the Spotlight Hub is here for you. And you can also give them a follow on LinkedIn and every other social media platform. Yeah. So we're just going to be going right into it as we move. But before we also begin, I would want us to, because we are a lot on the panel, we're four. Yeah, we're supposed to have one more person, but it's not here yet. So we're four or three right now that are going to be having this conversation. So as much as possible, I want us to see that this is not an argument. This is not a competition, and this is not a fight. We are just here to have a conversation that could help us understand what we can do, to better where we are as an ecosystem, and how we can also help each other. So please do feel free, when you are triggered by anything, please just stay calm, and we'll definitely resolve it. Now I'm excited to introduce our speakers, because today we have a mix of founders and media voices, which is exactly the kind of balance this conversation need. Although one of the media person is not here yet, but is definitely going to be here. So I'm going to be starting with the first founder, which is Adewale Fatoki. Is the founder and CEO of Nexa Pay. Please help me give him a virtual round of applause. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for being part of this conversation. And then we also have the second founder, who is Yemi Adebo. Yemi is the founder and CEO of Prime OS, built by Oron, Oron Inc. Limited. And then we have Osuko Odo. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I was really rehearsing that pronunciation. I genuinely hope I pronounced that correctly. Like, I was genuinely in the house, rehearsing it. I even gave Google to please help me pronounce it, so that I do not murder it on
It's
this
not
call.
that bad. It's not that bad.
I'm so glad. Thank you. He's the managing editor at Tech Point Africa, and we are very appreciative of you being here. And we have one more person that's not here yet. His name is okay. Oh, he's here already. Yay! Sheun is here on time. Thank you very much, Sheun, for joining us. Sheun Odegbami is the founder of 21 Lights, an African tech journal. Thank you very much, you guys, for being here. And I'm going to start by asking each speaker to briefly just introduce themselves, tell us your name, what you do, and in one sentence, why does this conversation matter to you? So I'm going to be starting with Adewale, then go to Yemi. Yeah, let's do it that way. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adewale Fatoki, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nexape. Nexape is a fintech company that provides dollar cards to our users. And in addition to the dollar card, we also allow our users to send and receive money, and also pay their utility bills such as TV subscription, airtime, data, insurance, and the likes. So I've spent the last few years working and building in the fintech space, from writing code myself to speaking with customers, navigating regulation, trying to also raise funds. So I've experienced these environments very, very well, both as an engineer and also as an entrepreneur. So throughout that journey, I've interacted with lots of people. So I've seeing the frustration that comes with building a startups and not being visible to the public. So this conversation matters to me a lot because I believe Nigeria has incredible founders that are all building meaningful products and solutions every day. But then many of their stories are not being told. Many of their stories doesn't make it to the mainstream media. So I'm hoping today's discussion will help us understand and provide a solution to the gap. Thank you very much. You are muted.
Thank you very, very much for that wonderful intro. Thank you. Next person is Yemi. Yes, Yemi. Yemi, if you are speaking, you're muted.
Hello,
Yes, we can hear you now.
can you guys hear me?
Perfectly.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Yemi Adebo, the founder of Orion Inc. International. Yeah, so basically, what we do at Orion is we build products that solve. That's what we deal more with SMEs in the real sector. So we build products, softwares that actually solves and streamlines processes. And so basically that's what we've been doing over the couple of years. And one of the reasons why we're in that sector is because we're dealing with that sector is because most times you see most SMEs they have issues of data, like okay, they want to access funding or access funding, so to say. And then
Mhm.
when they get to the bank tells them, okay, so let's have a look at your data. They don't have these data. And so what we've been doing is build a product that helps them to just in one place that they can, is it statement of account, is it balance sheet, is it whatever you want, you can actually just pick it up, download it, and just send it to your bank. And you get funded. Yeah, so we help them access funding as well. Yeah, so
Mm,
that's what we've been doing over the years. Yeah,
lovely,
thank you very
lovely.
much.
Thank you. Why does this
And why
conversation
this is
matter to
important to
you?
me is,
Yes.
I've been in the technology space for over 20 years. And
Mm,
feasibility has been an issue for most founders, right? And most recently, I co-founded, I don't know if you guys have heard this AI startup, Okemeta. And the media never cared to actually ask how how was this young man able to get to this
mm,
point?
mm,
Who was behind the person that was behind this behind the product?
mm.
Yeah, he's somebody. He's just a kid I met, and we decided. I told him, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do, and we got to that point. And just for me, just see everything in the media, and I just had to just step back. I mean, like, so I think our media too, they need to do better. We found out to also need to do better. Yes.
Interesting.
So that's why this
Interesting.
session is important for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next person, media person. They are coming. They are coming for you. Don't worry.
No, no
Asoko.
problems.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
The conversation already looks exciting, even when
Mm-hmm,
we've not even started.
mm-hmm,
I'm Asuko Udo. I'm managing editor at TechPoint Africa, where we lead coverage of news and happenings in technology space with emphasis on Africa. This conversation is very important to me, and it's something I've been looking forward to because many times founders misunderstand the media. Oh, we are doing this. Why are you not covering us? Why do you want us to pay for you to cover us? And all of those questions. So that's why this conversation is very important to me. We can get to understand each other. I can get to explain why some things are the way they are to you, and I can also learn from your perspective. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
lovely, lovely. Thank you very, very much. Sheung, over to you now. If you
So,
are speaking, we can't hear you yet.
Sorry, I think my network is a bit slow.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, okay, so good day everyone. Thank you for the invite. I'm excited to be here. I mean, what everyone has mentioned is a very critical part of startups sharing what they've done, right? And for us at African Tech Journal, one of the many things that we're doing is we're documenting the stories of founders, what they're building. And why this topic is very interesting is I believe founders need to know how they can earn media, right? And
Hmm.
how they can also do paid media. So you have to earn the media and you can also do paid media. So it's a combination of both. One is not like away from the other. You can earn it and you can also pay for it as well. Both have
Hmm.
similar goals, but they have like some sort of end results for them. Yeah. So I'm happy to be
Interesting.
here to discuss more.
Interesting. Like I said, this conversation is going to be as interesting because I think genuinely true. Because from the perspective of Sheung just now, a lot of founders needs to know how to earn the media. And honestly, when we started marketing, one of the things we usually aim for is earned media because we usually position for earned media a lot and we don't have to beg for it, although we still pay for the media, but we usually ensure that earned media is part of your KPIs, like it was part of a KPI at the time. So we're not angry, any media is not covering us because we are positioning for it. So I totally agree with you with a lot of founders needs to know or learn how to earn the media. So before we get into the conversation, like into it, we're going to do something very intentional. Since today conversation is about startup visibility, um, it's very important for us to um, understand ourselves as much as we can. So, because we see that a lot of founders say African startups don't get enough media visibility unless they are raising funds. Yes, that was the key word, or that was the conversation that started that day. That person said they feel like unless they are raising funds, pay for coverage, or when they are shutting down. Yes, that was what struck me because he said you guys didn't post me when we were raising funds, or when, oh, no, 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 when we were still in business, but when we shut down, you posted us. So I'm going to start with this open question, to anybody. When you hear that statement as a person, what is your honest reaction? I mean, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's exaggerated? Or do you think there is a deeper Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Apologies, I stay in Nigeria and we usually have situations like this where you
We just
don't laugh.
reminded you are African.
Anyways, I don't know if anybody caught my question before, Nigeria decided to Nigerian me. Anybody caught my question before I went away?
Yeah, maybe you should go over
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
again.
caught your question.
Yeah. So there was a
I caught.
quote during the event I went to. The person said he believes that African founders don't get enough media visibility unless they are raising funds, unless they pay for media coverage, or when they shut down, or when something negative happens to them. Now, my question goes to we're starting with the founders first. When you hear that statement, what is your honest reaction? Do you think it is fair? Do you think it is exaggerated? Or do you think there is a deeper issue we need to unpack, from that statement? Let's start with that. So let's start with Adewale. Yeah. Adewale, can you, if you're speaking, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, how about now?
We can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, my honest reaction to that, I think there is actually some truth to it. Because
Okay.
even personally, myself, to be very honest, recently there are some startups that have just been that, oh, this particular startup, they just shut down. And
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, we had that they raised so millions and then they ended up shutting down. And to be very honest, that was the first time I will be hearing which startup for the first time. So okay, all these medias posting them, that means you guys were they definitely were not paid to post for their downfall. But how come that they were not really visible when they were still alive? You understand? We get to learn more about them when they both went out. Even the popular ones that also shut down. So we tend to hear more of their failures actually than when they are doing good. I think that's actually very correct from my own head. From my
Okay.
own end.
Okay. All right. So let me give it to the media. Let me give it to the media now. We've heard from the founder's perspective. He's saying it's not exaggerated, it's reality. And honestly, like I said that day, this founder literally brought out evidence to show that he's been in the publications DMs in their emails and he's been asked questions about
Um, Seems she's having network issues.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe we just talk about just talk
Okay.
generally. Depending when she comes. Yeah, let's not keep the audiences bored.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I respond to that question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Maybe I
Yeah,
should
go ahead,
go
please.
first.
Let's go.
Okay. So there's a lot of nuance. Let me start with, oh, you didn't cover me when I was alive. It's when I died you now covered me. So I think there could be a few things. You need to understand how news work. Like we say in Nigeria, bad news sells. It's funny, but then it is what it is. If a dog bites a man, that's not news. But if a man bites a dog, it's big news.
Yeah, that's
So
news.
that's 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 one way to look at it. When a startup shuts down, there's usually a lot of post-mortem on it. Oh, why did it fail? Did the founders mismanage funds? Oh, they raised this amount of money. What did they do with the money? So that those kind of conversation um, is something that is interesting to the public. They want to hear about it. So that's why most times it feels like when a startup shuts down, um, it gets more coverage. It's just how the news work. Um, also remember that
Okay.
media, they are after the number of people that
Sensational news.
read their story.
Mhm.
Maybe you can call it sensational news, but not necessarily sensational news in this. So there's also the business part of it, that as we are reporting news, we also need to get the number. And it's unfortunate that most times those kind of negative reports that like you will see it is what gets a lot of traction. Reports that, oh, this new startup is doing something fantastic. They're like, oh, what special is it doing? There are 20 other startups doing the same thing. When I now report that, oh, this startup that raised this and this amount of money has shut down. Oh, you find out that people wants to come and find out more. They are even after I've published one piece, people are coming with much more questions that could lead to other articles on that same topic. So that's how it looks like. Um, there was also the other question of no, the African we don't like covering startups except they are raising funds. I don't know for other media firms, but for Tech Points, that's actually not true. In fact, um, we have deprioritized coverage on funding. Um, we don't really pick funding except if it's exclusive to us. That's how do I put it now? Some kind of um, uh, policy, and there's a reason for that, which I might not share. So there's also the other part of other media firms cover more of maybe the big tech, foreign startups than local startup. I can't speak for that media firm, but for Tech Point also, that's not true. We prioritize African tech companies for the past 11
Okay.
years. That's what Tech Point has
Okay.
spotlighting media firms in Africa are doing. Yeah, you have
Okay.
questions. Yeah,
No, 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 not a question. I just have
that's what
say. I mean, just I just want to add to the conversation. Yeah. So for me, yeah, I know. Yeah, some media houses don't require you to offer. I mean, give them phone. I mean, pay them. But the only thing I see is sometimes I think the media they don't really try to dig in to know what happened to a particular startup, why it failed, why they are going through some struggles and all those things. Yeah, I know most people we most startup founders we have say in Africa, some are very, very, very young and they are scared of what people will tell them. So I think there's a way the media can actually make this make them to come out to talk about why they are struggling. You know, sometimes it's not always about fraud. It's not always about reckless spending and all that, right? So I just feel there's a way the media can always handle this rather than just I mean let me use that I mean factor stories from the sky. I mean like just bring up stories, bring it just to make it more sensational and so that people can jump on it, you know. I think the media being established. I know tech points have been around for quite some time. So and we also have more experienced, I mean, journalists on your team who
Mhm.
should be able to handle this, meet these guys and
yeah,
talk to them in a way that they will be able to come out of their shell, you know,
Thank
because
you.
yeah, most of these founders are first time
Hi,
founders.
can anybody
Even
hear
first
me?
time founders, you find them very young and all that. So I think the media
Can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me.
yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, yes, I can hear.
I'm glad to be back. I feel very embarrassed about the situation of this country myself because from light to internet competing with each other. God help us. I don't know how much I missed, but I'm glad that the conversation continued because, like I said, this conversation didn't even need a moderator. I mean, you guys would have, done justice to it. But I don't know if the media perspective was shared while I left the call or it wasn't shared. Please, can anybody
Yeah,
run
yeah.
it back?
I shared the media perspective,
Okay.
and Yemi was just giving his thoughts on that, and I was maybe just give me a minute to also give him a little bit of response to what he was
Okay.
saying,
Okay.
okay.
back
Okay.
on
Please,
what I was saying. So
yeah, let's go
yeah,
on.
it's very important, and I like the fact that you mentioned that media houses that have more experienced journalists,
Mhm.
um, they're a bit balanced in their reporting than you just see one media just come up, Tech Point publishes something, they just carry it from their own this thing, just use it to agenda their agenda. They've not spoken to the startup. They just carried it from their own perspective. Sometimes it's as bad as they just do copy and paste. So for more experienced media houses that have been along long for a long time, um,
Mm.
we don't focus on breaking news. For example, when I see a breaking news, I don't jump on it just to get traffic. No, I have to ensure that what I'm about to report is factual. Have I spoken to the founder? Have I got the other aspects that makes the story very balanced? If not, then I'll leave out that story. So that's the balance, which I agree with you totally. Because the way we frame stories, the way we frame startup shutdown, it's not just about that startup. It's about upcoming startups. It's about the startup that are in existence too. Funders within the country and outside the country read some of these news, and sometimes they can begin to label innocent founders. Oh, they lump everyone together. You are all fraudsters. You all take our money. You don't do anything with it, and all of that. So the way the media frame stories is very, very important, which I agree with you. The media
Yeah.
needs to do better in that regard.
Yeah. Thank you, Asuko.
Yeah.
Ele mi wà. Kò mí now. Èmi tí mo fi sí power bank mo mọ nǹkan tí mo ṣe fi sí power bank now. But mo hope pé people don't stress me with this country. Can you guys hear me now? Oh God.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, you can.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Chill, I don't even want to say something.
Guys,
You've not,
I
you've
use
not,
my
you've not
words
entered this
Okay.
conversation.
yeah,
Let's hear yours.
So, okay, I will
Is there
talk a little bit about, I would say that founders too can be proactive.
okay.
Proactive means that you knew something happened in your industry and then you knew that it affected your business. You shouldn't wait for the media to pick it up and publish it, because you know that they will always run with whatever information that they have, especially if your company or your staff does not speak about it. They will run with whatever information that they have because their job is to share information. So whether you like it or not, and that's the business of media, good or bad. Bad news travels faster than good news. If you say something good, oh, we just acquired the license. It's nice. But if you say something bad, oh, we just shut down. It's more interesting to read. People want to read about it, right? So I would say the founder should be proactive. A license was revoked. You waited for maybe 2 days or waited for 6, 7 hours, and the media has already picked it, and all your customers are panicking and they're removing money. Let's say you're a finance business and they're removing funds from your business because they're afraid that you're about to shut down because of probably a license that came out or something. But you are not proactive, right? If we're proactive, you could easily have said, oh, this is, or we're reaching out to this media and we are going to jump on it before every other person jumps on it. Because again, media is shaped by perspective, and businesses should see their business as a media business in itself. Because if you see what you are running as a media business, whatever you do is being shaped by perspective. So you can be proactive about it. You don't have to wait for TechPoint to report it. You can go ahead and give them the information that they need. And sometimes when some of these journalists reach out to some of these companies and organizations, they don't respond. They don't give you
That's the
information
truth.
that
They
you
don't.
need. So if you're not responding and if you're not giving me sufficient information to work with, I'll go ahead and publish what I have. Then you'll be angry and be upset that somebody is publishing bad about you. Why not give us the information, right? Tell us, oh, this is the information that you have at hand. The reporter will say, oh, we spoke to AHO yesterday, and AHO gave us this about why the company this. So you're able to drive perspective and narrative about around what happened to the business. But if you don't share information, which most people do not share information, and if you're not proactive about it, which most people are not proactive about, shaping the perception of their business. I think some of the old businesses have done it very well.
Very
If you see
well.
some of these old tech businesses, yes, old tech businesses, I'm not even talking about fintech, the tech businesses, InterSwitch, and the likes, they have a corporate comms team. They have a corporate comms department that manages their corporate communications every step of the way, year in, year out. And these businesses have been there for 30, 40 years. I don't think I've heard anything seriously bad about it, because somehow, these guys are managing public perception about their business. So it's okay to invest in your comms department, right? And invest in how your business is being shaped by the public. You could even have like credit or something with maybe some of these like Tech Points, Tech Cabal, Lights. You can have like a sort of communication wheel with them and say, oh, we are working with you. Every 6 months, we share how our organization is growing, how something is impacting. So those are very proactive ways to do stuff. But yet we don't see that. But older businesses have done it very well. Maybe the new tech businesses also have to look for a way to manage their comms very well. You don't need anything too big. You don't even need a department. You just need someone that understands how you can manage your comms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Seun, for that perspective. But because I mentioned something earlier that when we started marketing, then your KPI is end media is part of your KPI. And like it's very, very important for you to know, because you're not going to be judged just solely on, oh, you paid this media to just put you out there. So I think genuinely Shemu is very right on the fact that a lot of new tech startup founders, startup founders, whatever startup you're founding, you need to genuinely know how to get around these things. You need to genuinely know, how do I even put myself out there enough for people to see me. I also need to also put one person that can help me. And thankfully there is AI to even help you become the comms person. Plan better how your media buying, your media publication or visibility can actually be, if you don't have money for comms person, because trust me, it's expensive to get PR people. It's very expensive. So I totally agree with that perspective. Now I want us to move into another interesting conversation, which is there was also a conversation that mentioned that there is always this feeling from African startup founders that international startup story travel very fast and they also get more attention. Even when African startups are building equally strong or even more successful, international startups tend to feel less visible or less
Like a
Seems she
network
has
one allow
network
the
issues.
rest. Yeah.
Okay. So Sean, I think you can answer that now. Can respond to that.
Okay. Okay. She's talking about the fact that a lot of African builders are not the rate at which people they are being recognized out there when you publish. Let's say you publish, in an international media, and Nigeria is different. But I mean, we have to look at the nuances of what content you are publishing and who exactly is your customer, right? It's great to go on. It's great to go on. What's it called again? What's that? Those popular guys again. What's it? What's their name again? I'm
TechCrunch,
trying to remember.
TechCrunch,
TechCrunch, yes.
TechCrunch.
It's great to go on TechCrunch and publish on TechCrunch. But TechCrunch, I know how much they charge. They don't charge small money, and they charge a lot of money, right, for you to be published. And possibly one of the reasons why people do that is number one, probably they have been paid investor money and they've already told the investor that, oh, eyeballs will be around our brand and product. And one of the ways they want to get eyeballs on their brand and product is publishing on a very popular tech blog that would go very far. Because obviously, if that one publishes, some other media company will pick it up and they also publish. And before you know, it becomes an entire media round of something that the companies have done. But I think you also look at what space do you really need to go on? Do you really need to go on TechCrunch? Is it is it really where your audience is? That's another way to also look around it. It's not by there are so many companies that have been on TechCrunch and where are they today? They are nowhere to be found today. So it's not by being on TechCrunch. I read a post by somebody on LinkedIn. The person is a CNN reporter, and she said that she finds startup and new businesses from local media organizations, not from foreign media organizations. That's how they identify startups to invest in and businesses to invest in, not from TechCrunch or all the others. So they go on local media because they believe that the local media will cover, people around. So they go to local media and they pick up stories. So that's where they pick up more of the information from, not necessarily from foreign this thing. So I mean, it all depends. So this is the way I see it. and that's the reason why you don't necessarily get, because you are not in San Francisco, you are not in the US. Why do you want
Mm-hmm.
to publish there? Most of your customers are over here. They are the people that want to see you, right? They are the people that want to know. But again, because I said, because people just want to be known,
Mm.
let our name be known. So why not pay for your PR, put it out there? But if your audience is local and your consumers are local, if you do a fantastic job, if you are really, I would say this, that if you build something innovative, and when I mean innovative, innovative means new to the market. New
Mm.
to the market means that immediately you publish it,
Mm.
it will generate engagement naturally because what you've built is innovative,
Mm.
right? It will generate engagement. So even if you start from the local, international people will pick it up, right? Because I know an example of an innovative product. I don't want to give them free PR, right?
Mm.
But let me just say it.
This is
Let me
what
Let
come
me
we
and
are
just say
pay.
it.
saying.
Yeah,
This is what
let
we
me
are
give you
saying.
PR because to me
This
it's a
is what we
genuinely,
are saying.
so to me that kind of, okay,
Mhm.
it's these guys that build Beam, right?
Mm.
Beam, it's a genuinely innovative product,
Mm.
right? That churches can use to, when the sermons are rolling and it just interprets the sermons, calls out the Bible verses, immediately the pastor speaks. And it's a problem that the church has always had, right? And somebody genuinely, so media houses picked it up fast. And all
Mm.
the media houses that published that content, they got engagement organically. And other people outside Nigeria saw the product and they appreciated the product because it was innovative. So again, is your product very innovative that even after it has been on the Nigerian landscape or African landscape, it will
That
go
is
outside it to an international landscape. So that's another thing to also think of.
All right. Thank you. Let me just add to what you have said. So I think
okay.
the challenge is most times, like you have said, founders have not built something innovative, but then they want coverage at all costs. So if you've done
Mm.
something innovative, I will be the one chasing you. The PBM guy you're talking about, I was in his DM. Even though he didn't respond to me, but I saw what he did, and it was, yeah, he didn't respond. He didn't respond. So I saw what he did. It was good. I was the one that went after him. So if you've done something innovative, I will be the one coming after you. And again, most times, some founders too, like I've said, they don't respond when they need to respond. You are
Interesting.
looking for
That's niche.
coverage.
Hmm.
You are looking for coverage. I'm calling you. I'm reaching out to you, but you're not picking your call. You're not responding to your email. Then after you now go and cry again that nobody's covering your startup. How does it work? I'll give you free PR. I'll give you free PR. Me, I'm a nice person. First of all, tell your story yourself.
Hmm.
How did people get to know about the PBM guy? It was because he told the story himself.
Hmm.
Tell your story yourself on your platform. Media houses, we are always on the lookout. Who is building something innovative? I also want to write a nice story about somebody who is doing great work. It's good for me.
Hmm.
So it's mutually beneficial. I write a very good story that my readers want to read. You also get a very good story about the product that you have built. So it's win-win. But when in the case you've not built something innovative and you want, I saw a pitch few months back. Somebody was pitching me. What was he pitching me? There were street lights, but they just found a way to slap AI on it. AI powered street light. Like, what's innovative about that? So is
Lovely.
that's actually the problem. Are not, and people are not doing innovative enough things, and they want coverage at all costs. Some founders come to us, oh, we want to get published on TechPoint. I check, what have you done? What is your traction? Zero
Hmm.
traction. So
Hmm.
I can't just publish a story like that. I have to consider my audience too. So that's what I'll just add to it. Thank you.
Interesting, interesting. I think it brings me to the next question on from the media perspective, because there's been a lot of confusion on how do you, from your own side of the media, decide what startup stories to cover? For you, especially for the startup side, yeah, I'm hearing innovation, 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 but what makes that story newsworthy? Is it just the innovation? Because I think one thing many founders do not truly understand is just this. Is it just because it's not innovative enough to you? Or something that is not innovative to you, okay, I don't know if that question is going to be balanced that way, because I want to say, if is it that because you don't see you don't see it as innovative, means that people are also out there are not going to see it as innovative. So how do you decide which news from startup side is very, very worthy to be covered? Anyone on the media side wants to help us with this?
All right, let me take it first, then maybe she will also add a few
Mm-hmm.
thoughts to it. So at that point, you have to have been in operation for at least 3 months. You have
Oh.
to have reusers.
Hmm.
You have to have traction. You
Hmm.
have to be solving a specific problem. The issue is most people, they don't have you said we were training up innovation. It has to be like you are solving a specific problem. Now when people pitch you, they can't even sell um what they are doing. They are not able to sell it to you. So if you are not able to sell it to me, how do I then intend take what you are doing and sell it to
Other
my
people.
readers or my
Hmm.
users?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
the issue. The thing can be innovative to you, fair enough, and sometimes I can be blind spotted. Journalists
One-sided,
can be,
yeah.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
not left on the founder. Sell your idea, sell it to us, convince me
Hmm.
that what you are
You guys
doing
hearing?
deserves
Hmm.
coverage. Sell it to me.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
Interesting. Interesting. Sheun,
thank you.
do you want to take a stab at this?
So it's closely related, right? And it is your ability to pitch to the media.
Okay.
How do you want to go about pitching to the media? If
Mm.
you are, for instance, if you're in fintech, right? Every other person to it, there are millions. Let me not use the word millions, but there are thousands of fintechs too,
Mm-hmm.
probably solving the same problem. But how are you approaching it? That's the
Yes.
question I would really ask. Because if you tell me, oh, you're 18-year-old founder of a fintech, it's great that you're 18-year-old, right? And maybe you're the youngest fintech founder in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But in the reality of it, what is it that do you have a better customer experience than the rest of the fintech that are there, right?
Hmm.
Can you say that, oh, your transaction is 0.5% faster than every other fintech there? So there has to be like a tipping point, right? When you are pitching, once you pitch yourself well, is as a founder, your role is a sales role. Pitch
Hmm.
yourself. If you
Yeah.
pitch yourself very well, right? I mean, there was a startup that I worked with in, you know, some years back. It was a fintech. I pitched to two media organizations and they published it, right?
Hmm.
So your ability to also pitch yourself to all these media organizations, I don't think a media organization will say no to you if you pitch very well, right? If they also see some other things, because they will also ask some other questions like, what's your
Yeah.
profile? What have you built? What's your track record? Things like that. And if you have a very good profile too, they would most likely publish you because obviously they will get traffic from you, and I would also get traffic. So that's another thing too. Founders should also have a great profile as well. If you're somebody that has worked in the bank for 20 years and you are starting a fintech, that's a good person to publish about, right? If you pitch to me and tell me, oh, I have 20 years of experience, I worked with Sterling Bank. In fact, I was one of the
Hmm.
executive directors who integrated this, and you have a fintech. It won't even matter if you are adding to other. What would matter is your level of experience. So how you sell yourself, like as well as mentioned, yeah.
Interesting. Now, speaking of how you sell yourself quickly, still on the media perspective, when do you think founders should expect organic coverage? Now, I know you said, three, Asuko mentioned, we would look at if you're up to 3 months, if you're, but genuinely, when do you think they should expect organic coverage? And another question here is, when is media paid media reasonable? When is paid media reasonable, and how can media platform communicate this better so that founders don't feel like everything is pay to play? This question came from someone
It's
in my DM
19
just now.
hours.
That I just saw the DM just now. He said, how can media platforms communicate this better to founders, that everything is not pay to play? How do we get that done very well? I don't know if you got that three questions I asked.
Okay, I think I'll just go first with the
Okay.
points. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
my background is
Mm-hmm.
a little bit noisy. So I would say that in terms of end media,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we've talked about here is building in public, right? Build in
Yeah.
public. And we're not saying share everything or share your company secrets. No, building in public is not sharing your company secret. Building in public is telling us that you build a payment platform and you have a new feature that allows people to do peer-to-peer transfer. That's
Mm.
something you want to talk about and you want to share. Oh, this is the reason why we built a peer-to-peer transfer, right? And then share it with the public, right? That's when other people see it, they start engaging and say, oh, this platform, this is a peer-to-peer. We've not seen this before. This is something innovative. They retweet, they like. You share it on LinkedIn, they engage, they like. Now, aside from that, another thing founders do is they also go for speaking engagement as well. You go for
Mm.
speaking engagement, you join spaces. It doesn't have to be a physical one. That also puts your brand out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we talk about marketing, we say top of the mind awareness means that you need to constantly be reminded about the brand. The brand is just showing up in your face like all the time, right? Then you get to notice what the brand is doing. That also earns you some sort of media. Aside from that, I've seen companies who go for grants. They don't. So I think the issue of going for $1 million for investor funds is great, but I'm saying that there are grants of 5K, 10K. You will see some of these organizations, and I'll mention one of them. They do it very well. Middleman. I don't think that they have paid for any media. If they paid, maybe sorry for lack of better word, past 100K, 100K
Hmm.
in naira that they paid. So these guys go for pitch competition, they go for contest, they win. And when they win, what that means is that the media will pick them up and say, oh, this person is building something, this person is building something, this person is doing something. So the media is picking up all these things. And you see that for a period of 6 months, these guys were on a roll and they were engaging themselves. Sorry.
Yeah, you can continue. We can hear you. I'm enjoying your take.
Yeah, enjoying my background.
I'm
So
enjoying
if you
what you're
give me
saying. Now you can continue.
okay, sorry. Uh, so it's earned media, right? And that means that all those things are things that you can earn over time as a founder. Build in public, go for competitions, invest in your personal branding. All those
Mm-hmm.
things give you earned media. Now, when it comes to the part of the paid media, sometimes what the end media will just publish is based on what they can see. But if there's
Yeah.
something specific that you want to push
I want
out,
to show
let's
you.
say you just launch a specific feature, right, in your app, and you want to let people know that, oh, I just launched this specific feature. This is what you want to do, right?
Hmm.
And you also want to gain trust. Remember, the media is for helping you gain trust, especially those who work in finances, right? The media establishes trust for you because the first thing I will do is if you tell me, oh, this is my product, I just go to Google. Who is Sheo? What does he
Hmm.
even do? They now
Hmm.
see maybe a media coverage that talks about the brand or the product. That's
Hmm.
trust, right?
Hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you could do that for trust. And like I
Hmm.
said, it's an investment. You can be publishing regularly as because you're shaping perception at the end of the day. So you
Mm-hmm.
can publish, you can pay for those things. You can pay for it. There's nothing wrong. You can budget for it and pay for it. So I think find a healthy competition, healthy, I say competition, healthy balance between doing
Hmm.
your paid ads and doing end media. But for some people, they can't do end media because if I don't like to show my face, if I don't like to type on social media, you can't force me to do end media. I will just
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and pay somebody
Mm-hmm.
to do media for me and post it and get my traction and go my way. It's not by force to do end media. But if you
Mm-hmm.
want end media, you have to work for it like everybody else. And
Like
I
every
think
other
a great person to reach out to would be the co-founder of Middleman, she has a specific training that she did last month or so, where she talked
Mm-hmm.
about how you can earn media as a founder. And she specifically said she has not paid for any media in the last 1 year. So
Mm.
I think that she's somebody that you can reach out to if you want to learn how founders can take advantage of earn media. Yeah.
All right,
I don't know
thank
if that.
you. I have one
All right.
question real quick. Just real quick. For each speakers we have on stage right now. And this is very simple. There is I feel like sometimes both sides still misunderstand each other. The media platform may not always understand how it's very hard to build quietly, especially when you don't have funding, when you don't have money for PR, when you don't know even your way around. So I would want to ask each teams right now, what do you think as founders you misunderstand from the media perspective, and from the media side, what do you think you misunderstand from the founders perspective? So we're going to start with the founders, starting with Adewale, then we go to Yemi, then Sheun to Asoko. Let's take it that way quickly, just 5 minutes quickly, or 2 minutes. Adewale, if you are speaking, we can't hear you yet.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest misunderstandings that founders have is I think we believe every milestones should be covered via
Okay.
media. You know, I remember when we just launched Nexape, it took months to build, months of going through different compliance issues, months of facing different setback, and then we finally launched. They just saw was just the banner. Oh, we are alive. Oh, you know, I think, but I was like, wow, I wish there was media that we able to tell the proper story of how exactly we felt going through all these issues that we went through. You understand? Users just saw that we went live, and then yeah, they don't actually know what exactly was going on in the background. I don't know. For my own part, I think every founder believes everything should be on the media. Uh, that's what that's all for my end actually.
Me, please, you can go ahead. Yeah.
I should go ahead.
Yes. What do you think you misunderstand from the media perspective as a founder?
Okay, yeah, okay. So, yeah. So, the thing is, yeah. So, uh, the media, the founders, most times the way we are those differences is the journalists, they don't really understand the pains it takes to actually start or build a company.
Interesting. Hmm.
It's very, very painful, rigorous, and
Hmm.
that's why sometimes when they try to reach out to founders, uh, I mean, they just feel those founders just feel like, man, this guy just wants to add to my problem. Why they should just wait? Let me take
Hmm.
my time to share my story with them. But on the other side, the media too, they are looking for the news, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
to just sometimes publish whatever they hear outside. Yeah, so it's always yeah. So that's where the difference is. There's always a difference there because they don't really understand what it takes to actually build a startup. It's very, very, very difficult.
Hmm.
And not every startup or founder has a PR team that could actually help them handle these comms most of the time because
Mm-hmm.
you find a founder doing like probably maybe 10 things all together where he's supposed to have
Yeah.
delegate all these rules to somebody, but he's doing all this by himself or by herself, right? Yeah, so it's always difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just where that's for me, that's where the misunderstanding is, right? So
Interesting.
sometimes
Thank you.
I want to tell the media that, okay, yeah, just put yourself in the shoes of these guys, of we the founders
Mm,
sometimes, and so try to understand
mm,
what it's like. I know media houses who are businesses, but journalists, they are not the
mm-hmm.
ones running the business. They are in the field, right? Yeah. So yeah, so that's just it for me.
Mm,
Thank you.
interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Asoko, do you want to go then, Cheryl? If you are speaking, we can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
All right. So I think yes, there are things we don't understand about founders. For instance, like he mentioned, they've raised money. It looks to a journalist like, I was there. How
Okay.
much have you raised that other people have not raised before? But you
Mm,
are not a founder. You don't know the pain it took to raise that kind of money. So we journalists, yes, we don't understand that part. There's also the part that
okay.
the founders feel, oh, any new feature they have, or maybe you move your business from Lagos to
Okay.
Abuja, they feel any new thing in their business is
Mm,
newsworthy. Well, I've moved from Lagos to Abuja. Yeah, take point, come and report it. I've I've removed this button. I've put a new button. TechCrunch,
mm,
report it. It doesn't work to us that
mm,
way. And yeah, sometimes when there is maybe there's a news and we need to get their feedback, um, they
mm,
can understand that news is time bound. If I don't publish as soon as possible, my competitors will publish, they'll get the traffic, and then you begin to see them as
true.
superior to me in terms of, oh, this is the publication
Mm,
that is always breaking news. TechPoint is not always breaking news.
mm,
But so when I'm in your DM, I ask you, this, what happened to this, what happened to this, and you are taking your time to respond to me. Like Shinwu has said, you are giving me the leverage to run with my own narrative, which shouldn't be. But because I'm in a competition with other people,
mm. Okay, thank God it's not my internet this time around. I hope you guys can still hear me. I don't want to be the one
Yeah, we can
right
hear you.
now. I don't want to be. I'm not mocking, but I just feel like I'm just happy it's not me right now. So Shehu, let's give Shehu the mic because internet has showed me Shege today already like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So maybe probably before Sean go ahead, yeah, you can see what businesses go through, right? That's part of it. Yeah, so maybe MTN or Airtel you're using, probably maybe that is not really their fault, but something's just happen like that, and you know, so that's
I
business
blame
for
them.
you.
I
Oh,
don't know
I
if you
blame
heard
them.
me.
Yeah, we were hearing you, but the internet threw you off.
And where did you stop hearing me from? Maybe I can just wrap up in a minute.
You, yeah, you stopped at
Being
maybe
newsworthy.
hey God, the newsworthy. Yeah,
entering
you
somebody's
talked about
DM.
how they should know what they should share.
Okay, so I think we don't understand the pains founders go to raise funds. When they come to us, oh, we've raised so and so amount of money. As a journalist, I can be like, and so, what have you raised that other people have not raised? But it takes a lot to raise money.
Mm,
It's not easy. So journalists don't understand
Yeah.
that. Founders also have the belief that, oh, any new thing they do, maybe they move offices from Lagos to Abuja, they change their button from blue to red. I should publish it. Any new feature on their app, I need to publish it. It doesn't work like that for us as journalists.
mm,
So it has to be a lot.
mm,
So, like she was saying, if that new feature that you have is so important to you, then you have to consider
mm,
using paid media for that. But if you want earned media, it takes time. Then it has to be something substantial. And sometimes when we reach out to founders and say, oh, there's this news, what about this? Respond to me. We need answers as soon as possible. But founders believe you can wait. But then news is time bound. If I don't publish as soon as possible, another media firm can publish that same news. And if that happens over a period of time, the tendency is that you begin to look at that other media firm as being much more reliable in terms of news than me. So that's why sometimes maybe you can't really blame them. Some media firm, when they've asked you and you are wasting time, you just run with their narrative. It shouldn't be, but also you should also understand their constraints, that they're in a competition. It's a business. If within a space of 3 or 6 months, my competitor is the one, any news update, you find it on his website. After some time, you forget about me. That, oh, does this one still exist? So that's why it's a competition. We are all in a hurry to be the first to publish, to be the first to break a news or to report a story. So that's what founders don't understand about the media. But this interaction is
Interesting.
important so that it can help us to align. Thank you.
Yes. So now bringing us to how do we bridge that gap? I'm going to be starting with Sheung. If we want to solve this conversation we've been having, founders are this, media are this, from your own perspective as a media person, practically, what do you believe founders should start doing differently from today? For every founder listening to this conversation right now, watching this live from their home, do you think it's about them building better relationship with journalists? Do you think it's about documenting better? Is it pitching better? Is it sharing clear data? Is he investing in paid media? Is he understanding the media timelines better? What would you advise, as a media professional right now, to founders that are out there still struggling, to tell their story? What would you advise them to do?
Okay, that's a great
All right. I will
question.
share just
Okay, can go ahead.
no sure we can you
So,
can go ahead, sorry.
okay. Yeah, so I mean, I would say that one of the first things that you can do as a founder, especially if you don't have funding, because I would say that majority of people probably complaining about this is I don't have the funding, right? But I always have to look at you always have to look at your startup as an investment. So whether you want paid or earned, you still have to make some sort of sacrifice, right? But I would say if you don't have the funding, peradventure you don't have funding, I would say you can build relationships. Some of the earlier startup that I worked with, that same startup, it was from a relationship I had built earlier on with somebody that worked in media that connected me to other people, three other people that did publishing for us for free, right? So I would say you can also intentionally go for events, attend events. At events, you are going to see a lot of media people there. You can collect their number, you can have conversation with them, you can build relationship right around there, refer them. So when it's time to publish your own content, nobody's going to be looking at giving you a rate card because you have an established relationship with a media person or a publishing person. So that's one way to go about it. Another way to also go about it is to also write your journey on social media. I think social media is the greatest place to also do that, right? Where you
Yeah.
can write about your journey, you can share information about what you're building. But again, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get to that point where people will genuinely engage you. Because I think this space is not the time to talk about personal branding because that is another journey entirely, right? And if you don't want to do that, if you don't want anybody to know you, if you don't want anybody to see your face, there's AI now. Abi AI, you can create a video version of yourself with AI, you can create a text version of yourself with AI, and you can share, information, right? And I would say create more content as well as a founder. It's just content marketing. Like content marketing means, create content around what you're building, what you're doing, what you're sharing, and then before you know, people start picking up around those conversations. For earned media, I would say that as you continue to grow as a brand, I think that you should also intentionally look at how you can invest in pay for media, like intentionally looking at how can I afford to pay for a tech point or let's say pay for using our own platform. Like what milestones can we do that, right? So for
Tech
instance,
journal. Say it. Yeah, you are saying
yes,
our
yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't
I
say
can take
it
that. So
fully.
for
Say
instance,
it, let them hear.
so for instance, if I'm creating a marketing campaign, right? That's let's
Mm-hmm.
say I work in fintech And our marketing campaign is that
mm,
we want people to save 5,000 naira and 10%. I would want to do an entire media plan around the digital media, offline, print, and whatever. I can then integrate paid PR, and I can also do that publishing on paid PR. So it's part of your campaign. It's part of your campaign plan, right? For it's part of your
mm-hmm.
campaign plan for your whatever you're doing at that moment. So you can intentionally put in paid media in it. So think about it this way. Think about it as an investment. Don't think about it as waste of money, because a lot of people think of PR or marketing as not crucial to their goal. You have to think of it as an investment, and your ROI may not be as immediate as possible. What you're just doing is you're keeping people top of the mind and perception around what you are building or what you are growing, right? If you don't have the funding to publish, it's not compulsory you publish. You can always post it on your social media platform and say, oh, we just got a
Mm-hmm.
license. Nobody's going to die. You will still be alive. But I just want to say the truth of the matter is that bad businesses or businesses that crash would always be sweet news for the media. That is
For the
just it.
media.
It will just be sweet news for the
Interesting.
media. And you cannot
Mm,
control it. And Azuko has said that the first person to is not our first person to publish it, and then people start rushing to them. So
mm,
you can either decide to be proactive about it and say, oh, this is the reason
mhm.
why. Before they picked it up, you've done a tweet already. You've done
Yeah.
three long tweets, one LinkedIn post before somebody published it. You've already done your post. You can easily control the narrative around what you're building so that tomorrow someone doesn't say, oh, maybe there's an impact. And businesses would always fail. I don't want to put it that way. I said there's a statistic that we all know that startups within the first 1 to 2 years will crash. So it's not a big deal if a business crash. The investors that were investing in the business too was on a
They know.
probably yeah, there's a
Mm-hmm.
probability that it will fail, but maybe there was a miscalculation in their own probability of
Mm,
failure, because they also
mhm.
know that they invest in 100K in this business. There's a possibility that it would not scale or it will not go far, and
Really.
there's also a possibility that the business will do well. But statistics shows that most businesses fail within the first 2 years or 3 years.
Mm,
So that means that if you're investing in a startup now, there's a possibility that all these AI fancy things, after 3 years, they are gone down the drain. They are nowhere to be
mhm,
existent. So it's okay for a business to fail. A business failing, I just want to tell a founder, maybe a founder actually listening, that a business failing does not mean that you failed. It's just a business that failed, because
mm.
businesses fail and people will write about failed businesses. So we need to learn about that. A good business, a
Thank you.
good marriage. People will not talk about a good marriage. It's that bad one
Yes.
that people want to
Yes.
hear.
Yes.
The good one, we
Mm-hmm.
never ever hear about it. But you see that bad
Mm-hmm.
one, that's the one
Mm-hmm.
that people hear about. So you can take it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Now, from the founder's perspective, now from Yemi, let's start with Yemi now. What do you think media should start doing differently, to help you build trust? Because honestly, from your conversation since it seems like you genuinely do not trust the media that much. Like, and you
No,
genuinely
no, no,
need
no.
them to change.
No,
Yeah, you
no,
genuinely
no,
need
no,
them to
not that I don't trust them.
change.
Okay. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, no, I want to say that you genuinely feel like there needs to be a change, and there needs to be like a
Yeah.
handshake so much from startup founders to media. Do you think that there isn't like any clearer editorial guideline, and that needs to be done, every time, like, so that you are aware that this is what it feels like to be published? Do you think that it's more of transparency about the paid media structure? Do you think they need to put more rooms for early stage stories? What exactly is it that you think that media needs to also do, to bridge the gap based on what Shemun just said? Now let's say your perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, like you said, there needs to be an handshake, right? So
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, right? I do trust the media very, very well, but
Okay.
the lot needs to be changed, right? It
Mm,
shouldn't be
mm,
about funding when they when founders raise money or when they shut
mm,
down. I've seen some stories that when I was like, who wrote this story? It's
mm,
something. I mean, did they really do their findings? So they need to. So the media also need to give end the trust of founders, because just like
Founders.
you as a founder, you run a business, and then you don't just expect customers to just rush in there. You need to earn trust, right? Same thing with the media. You need to earn the trust of, even if his company has shut down, right? You need to earn his trust so that he'll be able to share his story willingly the way he wants it to. But yeah, so we need to give them more time. We need to give founders more time. That's the media needs to give founders more time, and then
Mm.
probably maybe give them some form of advice. And then
Okay.
I see media, they cover more of fintech and all that. There are lots of founders there out there solving real problems, solving real
There's nothing.
community problems, and which are not being covered. I think the
Mm.
media needs to start looking at that aspect of real businesses. So it might not be tech driven, right? So I think we need to look at that. The media needs to look at that. So there's so much to say, but I'll just stop here at the moment.
I think two things I've also gathered from this conversation is we probably need to, I mean, from Sean's perspective and Asopo's perspective, looks like we need to have like an accelerator trains, like a training for founders on media readiness. As you start, maybe it needs to come from the media publications. They themselves need to be loud about it. One of the things I think, because a lot of people also just come in, they probably don't know that, because like I said earlier in this conversation, one thing I know that is very important is media coverage. For every business you build, and this is because starting as a marketing person, you need media. Do you understand? So I will not, if as a founder today, I always know that it's very important for me to be in the media. Like I know that in my head. But some people started, as a founder, they don't probably know anything about media. They don't even know anything about marketing. They just have that idea. They have that, that smart thinking, that solution in their mind. But I also think that maybe the media themselves needs to start like they need to be more loud about media readiness for startup founders. One, and I also think that we need to have like a community, just like the sports hub, the spotlight hub currently doing, helping founders surface their stories, put it out there, just the way African Tech Hub is
Mm.
doing. I know there is startup in 60 seconds. Yeah, I know Biomi does something like that to these days, which is very incredible. So if we have more communities like that, telling the stories of founders, telling it very loud as much as we can, maybe the founders would also feel like, okay, they are seen enough, and they also understand that these things are very important. So, but I think that was something I've learned so far in this space. Those two things needs to be done, and we need to have more people telling the stories as much as people can. And we also need founders to train. You need to know that media
Yeah,
is very important. As much as you want to earn the media, you also need to pay the media. I mean, we need to find the
sure.
balance between those two. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
very, very much, everybody.
I was going to
So
say, I was going to add something to that, right?
okay.
About paying the media. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back in 2008, we
Mm,
were wanted to where we were setting up a TV show, and then
mm,
we didn't have funding, right? Then
mm,
I just finished from a film school. That was my second degree. So, and yeah, we wanted to do a TV show, live show, and then we didn't have money. But now what we did was we approached AIT. AIT was still talk of talk of media then, one of the biggest media out there then back then. And then we what we did was strike a balance. Okay, yeah, we try to see how we can provide some little funding, and then whatever adverts and all that, yeah, they will make their money from adverts. So
mm,
it has to be a win-win situation. It shouldn't always be about, okay, yeah, you need to pay for media and all that before we can air your news or tell your story. There could be a kind of handshake in between, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
for me, whenever I'm striking a deal, that's the first thing I always look out for. How can we make this a win-win thing? Not just about yeah, one way. It shouldn't be a one way traffic, right? It should be a
You're
win-win
correct. You're
situation.
correct. You're correct,
Yeah.
Yemi. And that's why I'm also telling the media now, and the broader people watching this. It's very important that the media needs to say this loud as much as possible. I know people know they need to pay for something, but how do they also know that they can also share something? Do we understand? So if we're able to be loud with the end parts as much as we are allowed with the paid parts, because even me myself, I've had to reach out to media houses these recent times, and the first thing they are giving me is rate card. I've not even shared the story. I've not even said what I want to say yet. You don't even know what I want to say yet. But I mean, I totally understand it's a business. But at the same time, you hear me first, you understand me first. And even I've even sent pitch to some media houses that I had to now reach out to them. I want to pay for that pitch, and they published it. And I'm sure when you saw it, you probably thought it's not so newsworthy, but I mean, it's business at the end of the day. But I want to quickly introduce two persons because I mean, today's conversation is about startup visibility as we round up. We thought it was very important for us to also create like a little room for founders who are building, they want to also come and talk about. So we have two persons here. We have David Paul, founder of executionwise.com, is going to share what is building in just 5 minutes, actually. So we also have Ayomide. After David, I'm going to bring Ayomide on the stage also, just to quickly share what they are building with us. Since we said this is about founders, so David, you're on the stage already. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, I can
If
hear
you
you.
have 5 minutes, real quick, to just talk to us about your pitch, because trust me, we have media people here, so they'll hear you. Say it well. 5 minutes starts now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hi, my name is David Paul, the founder of Execution Wise, and it's a great conversation we'll be having going, and I've learned a lot of things. So, what we do execution wise, first, let me start with this. As a founder, we are building, and there's a lot of gray areas. There's a lot of things we need to learn. There's a lot of unknown things that we need to know. And part of these gray areas as a founder is the licenses, the registrations, and every documentation you need to get for your business. And area of licensing, we call it regulatory compliance. Regulatory compliance is a very confusing area to a founder, to any business owner, is because you don't know everything you need to get to become compliant, or to be to make sure that you are compliant with all your regulations. So a when I was building with a particular startup I was before this startup, we were building, and then we reached out to consultants, because it's the way people normally go about reaching out to consultants to find out what licenses and everything we needed. And so this consulting firm, they charge crazy expensive fee for consultation. They told us to bring 150,000 naira for every 30 minutes for consultation, because we wanted to find out what licenses we need when we are not ready to going to obtaining the licenses. So we know that founders and business owners face this challenge of knowing what licenses they need to get. And because they are bootstrapping, founders need to budget. So it's what led us to build Execution Wise as a platform. Execution Wise is a platform where business owners, founders can come and find out all the licenses, certificates, registrations, approvals, permits, everything a business needs to be compliant. A fintech, agri-tech, whichever industry or business anybody is operating in. So we have put together, we partnered with a consulting firm, a very reputable consulting firm, to put together the compliance list for every business that is being mostly started up in Nigeria. So we have them in Execution Wise. So you can come to our website, executionwise.com, and buy access to your compliance list. I normally say that we make it very price friendly, and we normally use a particular reference that for the price of your monthly sub, you can find out all the licenses, all the registration, certificates, approvals, and permits, everything you need to be compliant. You can find out on executionwise.com. And not just that, we also include information on how to apply for all of these licenses. For a fintech now, we say a fintech needs license from CBN, you need insurance from NDIC, NDPC, and all of these areas for whichever industry, whether it's agri-tech, even for a pure water factory, a sachet water factory, we have all of those licenses on execution wise. So whichever business anybody is starting up, we make sure that the compliance list of everything is 100% complete and correct. So the information you're getting is complete and correct. And then we're also following up to make sure that any new regulations is always reflected so that nobody is ever caught off guard. We don't no business is ever caught off with not being compliant by regulators, because it
Interesting.
leads to fines, it leads to shutdowns, or regulators might penalize you for not being compliant. There are lots of businesses that we've heard of recently that, let's say, CBN withdraws some licenses from several businesses because of non-compliance and all of this. So this is what execution wise does. And then beyond knowing your compliance list, for some startups, they want to be doing other things while they have somebody helping them get these licenses. So we can
Interesting.
also connect with consultants that will help you obtain all of these licenses.
Lovely.
So if you're a business owner, you are here to be compliant, you can visit executionwise.com and at a very budget-friendly price, find out all the compliance list, all the license and compliance list, everything you need to get for your business. So this is what
Mm.
we do at Execution.
That's interesting. I think Yemi has a question here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you offer advisory services?
Yes. What is not we personally that offer it. We onboard various consultants on our platform. So as
Okay.
it is, anybody that wants to talk to a consultant, you can you can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
All right. So anybody that wants to reach out to a consultant, you can, like, for example, now submit an RFP
Mhm.
for you explain what it is that you need, and then you can have proposals from different consultants to reach out to you, and then you pick out from the
Okay.
best, like how Fiverr and Upwork does it. So you can submit an RFP for what you want, and then different consultants will reach out to you. So you pick the best out of them, and then the one that works at your budget as well. So yes.
All right. I guess that
All right.
answered your
Thank you.
question. All right.
All
Thank you
right.
very much, David. Thank you for coming on
Yes. Thank
stage.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you can also drop the business overview in the comments, for every other person that would want to follow up with you, your link,
All right.
drop it there so that they also, get to reach out to you. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank
So I'm
you.
going to be
Yeah,
bringing
thank you.
Ayomide next, real quick. If you could also be quick with it. Ayomide Alamu. Are you on stage now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Ayomide Alamu, can you hear me?
good evening, everyone.
Good evening. You have the mic. 5 minutes starts now.
Yes, okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. And my network is a bit lagging, but then I think being here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So my name is Alama Emide, and we are building Dolans. So what does Dolans entail? Dolans is actually a smart match freelance platform that is meant to connect businesses or individual clients to prevented talent. So now we Dolans was actually built to fix the current flaws of freelance ecosystem. This is what I mean. So now when you get into the Dolans platform, there's no need for chaotic bidding or even delay in payment or even poor quality control from the client end. So now we are assuring that when you get into the platform as a client, you can get access to talent. You don't have to scroll through thousands of proposals or CVs or portfolios, because we are going to be promising you that we will shortlist 2 to 3 best talents for your work. And then for the talent end, you don't have to, when you get into the platform, we are showing you of jobs as it were. You don't have to stay so long on the platform to get jobs. So now you don't have to necessarily bid for jobs as it were, because we have clients already on ground for you. And then we're also going to be integrating multi-currency payment structure and also integrating crypto Why we are integrating crypto is because the adoption of crypto in this world that we are right now is actually increasing. So we want the payment system to be very easy. So basically, Drawlands is actually built to make life easy for both the clients or businesses, or and even make life easy for the talents of freelancers. Thank you.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. I mean, this is what we're here for. And thank you very much for coming on stage. This kind of conversation that really, really matters. We're really proud of you and what you're doing. Continue to build what you're building and also continue to build your presence. I hope you've been able to hear what the media, the media perspective has been so far about
Yeah.
building, publicly as much as you can, and recording what you're doing. Don't just leave it that somebody's going to come and meet you, because I mean, nobody's going to help you. You have to help yourself. Thank you very much. I mean, it's been an insightful conversation, and like I said, this is the first of its kind that we're having. We're going to do more. We're going to try as much as possible to see, because I personally feel like there is a very serious work that needs to go into training founders, even if it's webinar sessions, even if it's just, I don't know how it's going to happen, but truly we need to train people on how to speak, how to speak in public, how to pitch, how to do this, because genuinely people are building something. And like Yemi said, it is not easy to build anything. Like, it's not even easy to build those things. What's that toys that children play with? You know how hard it is to be mounting it together. Exactly. So I totally understand it. So thank you everybody for joining us. But before I round up, or before I say the last thing I want to say, I'm just going to invite David. David is the co-founder, or the founder of the startup, Spotlight Hub. Startup is now in my head now. So he's the founder of the Spotlight Hub. We partnered to have this event happen, and it's been really, really a great partner. He's been really, really, hands-on with everything that needs to happen to make this happen. So I'm just going to quickly give David the mic to do the closing remark for this event. Thank you once again, my speakers, for joining us. We will definitely always reach out again. And we hope that this conversation does not stop here. We really hope that there is a solution. And, based on everything that I've mentioned from the founder side, from the media side, we hope we're able to find, a middle ground on how we all progress as a nation and as a country. So over to you, David. Yeah, you have the mic now. I hope you can hear me.
All right. I'm so much glad to be part of this conversation, and I've been following from the beginning, and it's been an insightful conversation from the media guys that we have, and then for the founders that we have as well. So it's very, very much a great privilege to actually have you. As a matter of fact, I've learned a lot from people, from the media people, the media perspective, getting to understand that there are some areas that founders don't understand, and there are some perspective that the media also have that the founders do not have. So it's very much interesting to see that there is a way to actually bring a blend to it. So I appreciate everyone for for making this particular event a successful one. And thanks to Elizabeth for bringing up this conversation. As a matter of fact, I can still remember the first time she reached out to me that, oh, what's my perspective about media space and then the startup? What do you think can be done by the media elites to actually help funders? And I was like, oh, this is something that is worth you know discussing. Okay, can we have the founders and then media people to come on board and speak on this particular topic? And it's been a very, very, very interesting one since the beginning of the preparation from day one. And I appreciate the fact that she was able to pull through all of this. And then yeah, I appreciate every person that have actually spoken, the founders and also the media elites that have spoken. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Elizabeth, for having this. I'm very sure we are going to be having more conversation like this, because basically what founders need to actually get to build their product is not just one thing, it's a lot. It's a lot. I've been interviewing founders personally, and on my platform, the Spotlight Hub. So we have been interviewing founders, a lot of founders, then listening to them share their stories. It's something that's actually helped me to understand, okay, what are the things that founders truly need. So different founders have different needs or different challenges. Some are having the challenge of visibility, some are having the challenge of getting investment. Some are having the challenge of having the right policy or getting to know how best to build their product. They don't have it all figured out. So what you want to get from them is, okay, let's hear from them, because if you don't listen to the founder, you can't know the problem that they're actually facing. So that is why I personally accept this collaboration to, host this conference on how media and how founders can actually get visibility, get to understand visibility for their startup, and then how they can leverage it to actually build a better product. So thank you very much everyone for this
Yeah.
conversation. I appreciate it. Thank you once again, Elizabeth, and for building
Mhm,
the.
mhm. David, we can't hear you. David, we can't hear you. Your mic is muted. All right, I'll just round it up. Probably network issue again, because network actually kicked out Asoko. Um, Once again, one thing is clear from today's discussion. Let's not forget, this is not a founder's problem. This is not just a media problem. Founders need to get better at documenting their work, telling their stories, building relationship, and understanding what makes a story valuable to the media. I mean, if you started this conversation from the beginning till now, you probably understand this from Sheun's perspective and Asoko's also perspective. Now, for media platform also have this role to play in making processes very clear, building trust in people, creating more rooms for diverse African startup stories, and not just the funding part, the shutdowns, or the controversies. Because if we genuinely want the African tech ecosystem to grow, we need stronger storytelling. It's not like the people outside there are building better than Nigerians or better than Africans. Do you understand? So we need to sustain what we're saying, what we're putting out there, and that is the bridge that we are discussing. Thank you very much, everybody, for also joining us today. I can see the comments. This has been an insightful session to people. Thank you, Amara Chuku. Thank you, David. Thank you, Paul, Ladi. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is the first of its kind. This is the first conversation we are having, and I genuinely hope it doesn't stop here. It's not going to stop here for me, especially because I see that I was able to pick out problems that could be solved. Like, I genuinely saw problems that could be solved, and I am definitely going to be a part of solving it. So please, let's stay connected, let's keep the conversation going, let's continue to build an ecosystem where great African startup stories don't just stay hidden. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely evening. My name is Elizabeth Ogunseye, and I am honored to have been your host for this event. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to our viewers. Like me, you've been here since. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you, Adewale. Thank you, Sheung. Thank you, David. Thank you, Yemi. Do enjoy the rest of your evening and your Friday. I hope you guys are not just going to be at home this evening. I mean, I will be anyways. So, but yeah. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
and
Yes.
bye everyone.
Bye.
Blackmailing each other's their game as we really call, and it fuels the disorder.
Thank you, everybody. See you in another session that has to do with this insight. So I locked this. Oh, wait. Bye.